Is the legs crossed crazy?
No. It's perfect.
Hey guys.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pine Cellar Podcast. Here I am in your life.
Hey, you are in mine.
We're your hosts,
Sam Marie.
and Gia Angelina.
And we are at the West Virginia State Penitentiary for our first ever Halloween episode.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Can you tell who we're dressed as? We'll give you a minute to guess. We'll give you a minute to guess. Okay, did everybody guess?
Okay, say it on 3.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Zach and Cody.
From the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I'm Cody. Right?
Anyways, yeah.
And you're Zach?
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay. Today we wanted to it's like a history buff type of episode.
Yeah. Get into the history, get into maybe some spooky stories, some conspiracies about it. But yeah, have you ever been to the penitentiary before?
Yeah, I've been here probably like 2 or 3 different times for like haunted houses. I think we came maybe like on a field trip for my like 8th grade year or something.
Really?
Yeah, my Catholic school.
Did your school do that? That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like middle school.
Okay. OLP?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome. We got to see it all like during the day too. So when I would come for like the haunted house, I was like, oh, this like, I know what this looks like.
Okay. When did you go to the haunted house for it?
Throughout high school, I think. Probably like once in middle school.
Okay. I've never been to the haunted house before.
It's pretty good.
Our family reunion happened every year in Ogleby. And for some reason, one of the days we would spend it like, I mean, I've been here a lot of times because we would go every family reunion. We'd take a trip here like in the middle of summer just to do the tour. And then they like would take you through the tour and then you get like an hour or 2 to roam around by yourselves.
The haunted house, like when I came, one year they had like a little girl running around on like all fours. I don't think she was a little girl. I think she was grown, but
a grown girl dressed like a little girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was scary. She came out from literally like the bottom of the wall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was scary.
I would be so scared doing the haunted house here.
Yeah.
But I would do it. They do haunted houses all throughout October. And then you can also come anytime during the year except in November. That's when it shuts down because it gets too cold. But just to do like the whole tour and stuff. So you guys definitely got to come here. Go ahead.
I saw on their website I was looking at, we have Tom here. Tom, what is your title? He's the executive director of the Moundsville Penitentiary. I saw on your website, Tom, that you guys do princess tea parties. Is that true?
That's
Princess
awesome.
tea at the Moundsville Penitentiary.
We're
I
gonna
think
do
like
that.
me as a little kid, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, we gotta come back.
Yeah. We're sitting in front of Sparky.
Old Sparky.
Did
Yeah.
you see the number of how many prisoners were electrocuted? Sparky is an electrocution chair. Electric chair?
Yeah, electric chair.
Oh my gosh. Did you see the number though? Because there was a number. I don't know how accurate it was.
I saw 2 different numbers as far as executions. I saw somewhere it said 96 total, not just by this though.
Mm-hmm.
And then another place I saw 104 total executions occurred here. But I saw that originally it was death by hanging until someone's weight was too much when they were hanged that it actually decapitated them. And so they decided perhaps we should stop that. And it was deemed in, 19, I don't remember when. I'll write it in here.
When they stopped the hangings?
Yes.
So
they deemed it was like not humane.
Immoral?
Yeah.
But so decapitating was the step that was too much.
That's where they drew the line.
But hanging in front of everybody was okay.
Was okay.
Oh.
And then they moved it to, they deemed that electrocution would be more humane. And that's when they started doing that. I think it was 1947. But yeah. Do you feel like that's more humane?
I feel like if I had to choose, I wouldn't want to get electrocuted.
Me either.
Either way, it's like a pretty shitty
I'm okay
deal.
on either. I probably just won't commit a crime to end up in a prison, but
in the penitentiary. I saw that it started off as co-ed. There was way more men than women though.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the end of their days, probably like 10 or 15 years, I don't know how, but women got transferred out.
Yeah, and they went to a female prison. But yeah, because most of the stories that I found were mostly regarding male prisoners. I did see some stuff about like women being imprisoned for witchcraft and that sort of thing.
Here?
Yeah, there was a story of one person. Again, some of these are like hypothesized stories, and but there was something about a woman who was imprisoned here for witchcraft, while meanwhile there was, you know, serial killers and murderers, but they deemed witchcraft to be on the same level of severity.
In West Virginia is crazy because there wasn't a whole lot of witches around here, I don't think. At least like publicly.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But yeah, I guess a little bit to go back to the original portion of it. So they originally in 1863, West Virginia became a state, and people were originally held in the county jails. However, that led to a lot of overcrowding, and they just didn't have the resources there. So they started sending prisoners to the Ohio County Jail in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Okay.
So that was kind of like the original, but it really wasn't a state prison. And then, again, overcrowding, but they were waiting until the funds came through for this. I think the original funds to start this was like $50,000.
That's it?
Yeah.
This place is huge.
Massive.
For anyone who's not around here, you guys gotta look it up because it looks like it was built like as a castle.
Yeah, it's described as Gothic style. And I guess it was to be like, to let people know that, again, hypothesize that, like, when you go here, like, this isn't a great place. It was supposed to look scary. You were supposed to be scared to go to prison, and, like, this was not going to be a wonderful way to spend your life. So, you know, yeah. So once they gathered the funds, and they were able to build it, the building started in 1866. And I saw that they actually were having prisoners help with the building process. So it was like they were building these blocks that were essentially going to lock them in one day to kind of further the punishment for whatever sort of crime they had committed. And then I saw this, but this is completely legend, and I've heard this like when I've been on tours here before, or like just growing up in West Virginia. But I don't know if you've ever heard this, that Moundsville had the question of whether they wanted the university here or the prison here, and they chose the penitentiary. But again, rumors, I don't know if that's true or not.
Like the state of West Virginia?
Yeah, like WVU or this.
Could have been in Moundsville?
Yeah.
Wow.
Haven't you heard that too before, Ryan?
What a
I
life
was gonna
changer.
say. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
But I mean, originally...
Moundsville's the new Morgantown. Shut up.
Wild. Wild. But, yeah. Were you going to go ahead with something?
When you were talking about them building it, kind of essentially like building their own little cage, their cells, I'm reading that they're 5 by 7. So do you think like the 7 foot part is deep or what? So like
7 foot
5 by 7, or how tall?
Oh, well, I guess that would just be
like I'm 5'7". If I laid down vertically in this cell,
I
am I
would
gonna
imagine
touch
it's
the wall
7
and
foot
the door?
high.
These are little cells. How many
Okay.
people would stay in these?
Yeah, so basically what he was just saying is that there was a time where, again, overcrowding was seriously a problem, it sounded like, and there was a time where these tiny cells are made for one person, but there was a time where there was 3 people, and so there's the 2 bunks, and then supposedly they just like threw one of the little cots things on the floor, and somebody had to take that.
If you're on the floor, you're getting stepped on. There's no way.
Yeah. But I guess originally, so it was really, they put the money, they put the time into this. There was a coal mine associated with it. There was a prison farm, so prisoners were like working, and you could actually like work overtime and get money that you could then leave the prison with once you served your time. And there was a library, there was night school for people who couldn't read. But I think a lot of the kind of where you get to hear the big stories about the penitentiary is due to the overcrowding. So the overcrowding led to the violence that most people hear about. And it was actually labeled by the U.S. Department of Justice like one of the top 10 most dangerous prisons to be in because of people escaping, because of the riots, because of everything. But it really started off like this place to kind of reform and have people employed and learning while they're there, and then just too many people.
I saw something that they compared it to Alcatraz, and I read like a magazine article, I guess, of like this man or woman, I don't know, escaped prisoners just like showed up in their front yard one time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, because like, what's interesting about it too is like when you come to the penitentiary, this is a residential area.
Yeah. Like across the street.
Like, yeah.
Like, you know,
somebody's front yard is right there.
The cool thing about the location of the pen is, yeah, like it's literally in somebody's neighborhood, but across the street is the mound too, right?
Yes.
So before the pen was even here, there's already some type of history literally
like
across the road.
Site. Yeah. Yeah. And it was supposed that maybe a portion of that burial site, this was possibly built on a portion of it, or like from that mound, that there are some buried underneath, whether or not that's true. But so that kind of plays into it too.
To kind of set the scene of like the architecture, I guess might be the right word. Their prison yard, it's shaped like a parallelogram. How many sides is that?
I've never heard of a parallelogram.
You're lying. How many sides is a parallelogram?
I would say 4, because right, that would just mean everything's parallel. Okay, 4 or 8. That's what we'll go with.
682 and a half feet in length and 352 and a half feet in width. So the wall is what interested me, not like the amount of space, because I can't visualize if that's big or not.
Me either. Yeah, how many M&Ms fit in the jar? I don't know.
Oh, 12 and a half acres is pretty big.
Yeah.
But the wall is what interested me the most, because it goes 5 inches below the ground. Or not 5 inches, 5 feet below the ground.
Oh.
So, like, if you're trying to dig under this wall.
Digging deep.
Yeah, at least 5 feet. It's 25 inches thick. I think it's thickest would make sense if it's thickest at the bottom and it gets thinner up towards the top.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. They were thinking when they were building it.
It's like they thought it was going to be a prison trying to hold people.
Yeah. It's like they actually planned it.
At each of the corners of, I don't know if it's the prison or the yard, they have these guard towers. So it kind of just like, it literally looks like a castle where there would be archers up top.
Yeah. It looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
Or like a fantasy book that I'm reading.
Did you find any like prisoner stories or anything? Family stories?
Yeah, definitely. I guess just while we're on the organization of it too, it is broken off into some sections. So and all the halls are kind of based on the level of severity of the inmates. So I found that the North Hall, or also called the Alamo, that was for more people with behavioral issues. And they had to stay in these 5 by 7 foot cells for 22 to 24 hours a whole day. Then there was the New Wall, and that was kind of mainline general population. They had something that they referred to as Rat Row, and those were people who testified against others, and so they needed protection in the prison. And I have a lot of things I noticed were like how much all of this history is. There's like a lot of stories about snitches, and like you do not want to be a snitch coming into this prison. And then there was honor hall, so those were considered trustees, but trustees to the guards, who earned special privileges and security.
I'd probably be mad about that too if I was just like a regular. Rat Row was like, oh, whatever, F them. But if you're getting extra privileges and I'm sitting over here in a cell with 3 other dudes, I'm mad already.
Yeah. So yeah, I have some different stories. One of the biggest stories, and it's one that they've told on the, because basically when you go through the tour and you go through with a guide, you're going to stop at different places where big things have happened, and they'll give you kind of the stories there. So they'll take you to Russell or Rusty Lassiter, but they'll take you to his cell because he has quite a story. He was actually imprisoned for murdering his father and his sister's boyfriend, whose last name is Grog. But in the process of that, he's leaving to go kill his sister's boyfriend. When he gets to their house, he holds all the kids there hostage and then just murders the boyfriend. But that's what he went to prison for. But he was the leader of some brotherhood, supposedly, within the prison. And so it was believed that he wasn't necessarily killing people, but he was ordering the kills on people. So kills on different snitches, whatever it is. And so then he was moved to North Hall because of that.
Which was like the segregation one?
Yes, that was the one where it was like they were pretty isolated most of the time for bad behavior. Mm-hmm. And so he was moved there with one of his buddies who was William, his nickname Red Snyder. And they were in that little area. I guess the guards had opened up both of their cells to let them out. And Rusty runs out and shanks Red 37 times.
37
times.
And something like that has to be like, the guards knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless like he really had no reason and it just was like, oh, I've been waiting to see this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
But apparently they were like buddies at some point. But then I guess whoever took over the Brotherhood when he got taken away was like, you got to get rid of him. But I don't know why. But yeah, that's like a big story. So, and maybe we could go up to his cell or something.
You know how to find it?
No.
No.
We'll just be going around. We'll be like, Rusty, where are you?
Great.
You can't come home with us. But yeah. So that's like a big story. Did you have any stories?
No, I kind of looked more into just like the history of it, kind of like the foundation and things like that.
That's okay. I have other stories. I can keep rolling.
Go ahead, keep rolling.
But in March 1973, so this is kind of, I put it under history of violence
okay.
in my notebook. But in March 1973, there was a lot of different riots and holding people hostage due to the condition of the prison. And so March of 1973, this is quite a while after the prison had opened in 1866 or 1867. But at this point, there was a lot of issues as far as the sewage and
it's
like
starting to fall apart.
Yeah. And like, I guess the sewage was going into other cells and that sort of thing. And then they described it as like the smell was literally suffocating people. There were other things, I guess the airflow of it in the winter, it would be like sub-freezing levels. In the summer, it'd be over 100. But so at this point, there were different riots as a result of that. But 40 inmates held 50 guards hostage, essentially demanding better conditions. It lasted 24 hours. 2 inmates were stabbed, and 1 was killed. After that 24 hours, the governor accepted 15 of their demands, and some of those were like just clean sheets, documenting that rules and regulations were being followed by the guards so people weren't getting different treatment, and then removing some of the isolation cells. So I guess they met their demands, and that was some of them. But I guess these 3 who had been killed, so a lot of the time when the riots happened, people of these brotherhoods used it as an opportunity to get rid of snitches. So those 3 that were hurt, those people were supposedly snitches. Because that also happened in January 1986. There was another riot. They took a dozen prison workers hostage for, again, better conditions. They did get a new cafeteria as a result. And 3 inmates died during that one. Again, they were deemed snitches. November 1979, 15 prisoners escaped. They're just out there.
Was there anything about how they got out?
No, not exactly. There was another incident that in 1992, 3 men tunneled out of the greenhouse. I don't know exactly where the greenhouse is, but it must have not been where there was 5 feet down. But yeah.
Unless nobody was going in the greenhouse.
Yeah,
And
they
just were
taking
covering
their
the
time.
floors. Yeah,
They got a spoon and they're just out there. Yeah, prisoners just escaping. The thing that's crazy though about prisoners escaping is because literally, like, this is residential area out here. Like, their kids are going to school. You know?
they could be hopping on the school bus, like walking into somebody. Like, if you know somebody from here, there's no way you could go to prison here. Otherwise, you could find your way out and just go. I wonder if the
like, Mom, climb the fence and come get me.
Yeah. I saw that when prisoners were escaping, they started off with bloodhounds, like, to find them. I think for some reason that ended up changing.
Probably because there was a lot of stuff about, like, avoiding cruel and unusual punishment. So a lot of the prisoners started deeming certain things cruel and unusual punishment, and so they would petition for it, or, like, they'd find a lawyer and sue. So that's kind of what I'm assuming, that the bloodhounds probably started to be ruled as cruel and unusual punishment.
Rioting just to get some clean sheets is justifiable, I guess, because why do you have to riot to be able to get some clean sheets?
Yeah, I guess too, one of the wardens had, like, admitted, he was like, when things started to not hold up as well as they once were, he was like, I'm just trying to save a nickel here. I guess amongst all of that, outside of the executions and with the violence, there was at least 36 homicides that happened.
I was wondering about that. Like, yeah, like, there's some type of record of the deaths that were ordered, but people in here just killing each other and then killing themselves. There's got to be a bunch of just souls left in here. Yeah, it's crazy. And then I saw something. So Charles Manson, do you know who Charles Manson is? I've heard of him. Go ahead, tell me what you saw. Well, so basically Charles Manson was this cult leader. He, like, made his own followers and got people following him, and that was in the 70s. 60s, back in the 60s, and he ended up killing a total of 7 people, I believe. But they have, like, different sorry, my wig's getting in my eye, but you're wearing a wig?
Oh wait, no, I'm actually just Cody. Shoot, I forgot. But so he was a cult leader, a murderer. Charles Manson, he wasn't born in West Virginia, but he spent a lot of time in McMecken. And so he wrote a letter, and I saw that they have the letter here still. Okay, we got a head nod. They still have the letter here, and it was him requesting to be transferred here from where he was, because this is, I guess maybe he recognized the set as his, like, hometown. But I thought that was interesting. But he was declined. There was, like, they said, "Fuck no, we don't want you and your red Kool-Aid over here." Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. They did not want him here. But I thought that was crazy. Yeah. Why did Charles Manson want to come here? Yeah, I saw something that him, like, someone in his family or maybe someone in his cult were here. Okay, so maybe that's he was trying to get out. Yeah. He saw people were getting out through the greenhouse. Maybe, like, let me over. It's notorious, huh? Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe he saw the riots and, like, okay, these seem like they got some type of control going on over there. I know. 40 prisoners for 50 guards is what you said earlier about the riot. Wait, what'd you say? 40 prisoners held 50 guards. 5 guards. Oh, okay. I was going to say. Yeah, there was definitely, again, because of the overcrowding, like, guards were outnumbered tremendously. I don't know, like, what today's law is as far as what the ratios should be, but can't imagine it's what the ratios were at here. But again, it was just so 25-1 is what it's supposed to be. 25 prisoners to 1 guard? That's terrifying. Is that what it's supposed to be, or is that what it's pretty close to what it is nowadays. Okay, 25-1. Oh my gosh. 32 officers for 652 prisoners. Wait, no, 32 or wait. Yeah. 1. Okay, yeah. But it's 1 officer per 25. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like in a prison it should be like 1 to 10. Yeah. Because if there's 25 of us and 1 of you, we're rioting every day, you know? No cosmic brownies in the cow. I don't care if I made people drink red Kool-Aid. This isn't a joke. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I'm not working at prison if it's not 1 to 5. There's a lot of PA positions, physician assistant positions, to work in, like, correctional facilities. and you get paid really good money. They're mostly temporary because most people don't stay long term. They'll stay for like a season or whatever. And but yeah, I was like, I don't think I could do that. Imagine just like, I'm just trying to save lives and there's a riot, you know?
Yeah, they're coming for you first, buddy. You got all the pain pills,
sharp objects. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever take one of those jobs. There's also a room here called the Sugar Shack.
I've heard that on like a tour or a haunted house or something. What is that?
It was a recreational room originally, but it was notorious for like fighting, gambling, assault. But yeah, so the Sugar Shack is like a big thing that they'll highlight when you go through the tour, and that's probably like the place that I've been the most spooked out, I think, going through the tour. Or like maybe the boiler room, because the boiler room's separate from the Sugar Shack, right? And the boiler room, I think, is where there's been the most sightings, or believed to be more sightings, of the Shadow Man.
Who's the Shadow Man?
So the Shadow Man is, we'll circle back, but Artie Wall was imprisoned for sexual assault, but he was one of the people who's like trusted by the guards, so he had like different treatment and that sort of thing, and he worked in the boiler room as a result of like being a trustee. But it's kind of known for, in these prison systems, if you like just generally, that if you harmed women or harmed children, like you're more likely to kind of be attacked when you're in the prison. But also he was one of the trustees, so he's kind of known as like a snitch. But he actually ended up being attacked in the boiler room. They said like his fingertips were cut off, and it was uncertain if he had a really severe neck laceration, or if it was like severe enough that he was decapitated. So he died in the boiler room under pretty severe, intense circumstances.
Oh, okay.
So this boiler room, I can't remember if in my mind I'm thinking of the Sugar Shack or the boiler room, but one of those two is like the places where I feel like I felt like the most spooked out. And then I saw somewhere that it was believed Artie Wall might have been the Shadow Man, but maybe he's not the Shadow Man. So yeah, the Shadow Man, there's a very infamous picture, and I did see it online, but I think I've taken a picture like with my family by the door before, but it's where like he was saying it's in a corridor or in a hallway walking to the cafeteria. So that's another big thing that's like here.
So was the shadow very prominent or something? Like, could you say some people were reaching, or it was like a full shadow? Like that's somebody.
No, the picture is definitely like pretty spooky. Pretty spooky. I think that's it, but it's kind of hard to see. I think we might be getting a picture though.
That's very prominent.
Yeah, like
that's a whole body.
Oh, I think we're getting a picture.
So you're showing them the Shadow Man picture, or just all of them? All the actors. So what you're all looking at right now on the video watchers is a collection of just all of either shadows or some type of apparition taken all in the prison. So Sammy's pointing to the Shadow Man right now. I'd say that's the most prominent one on there.
Yeah, I would say the boiler room and the Sugar Shack are the most spooky places. I did one time that I came here, we were on the tour. It was before we did the ghost hunting. I think we were in like the infirmary area, but there's like bathtubs there.
Sorry, I just got
to
chill.
There's like a bathtub area, and I thought I heard somebody like get into the like you heard like the getting into the bathtub, and one other person saw it, heard it, and I was like, "You heard that?" And she said, "I heard that." I was like, "Oh, I was a ghost getting in the tub."
I'm excited to get into it.
Right?
Today, Sammy and Brian are just gonna walk around and just kind of roam. So if you guys are done listening to the podcast, go ahead and check out the vlog then. Yeah,
definitely check out the vlog, because I think there were supposed to be 4 of us today, but people bailed, Pine Room guys bailed, but so I think we might break off, and I think I might be going by myself.
Sammy like going by herself through this prison is scary,
spooky.
We need a code word, but I don't know like how to make the code word so nobody else will know it. And if you like come back with something, then I don't know if they're gonna know it.
I know. Oh man. So this week's Woman of the Week is a very popular author. Her name is Frieda McFadden, and she writes psychological thrillers, which I thought would be fitting for this time. This is a great time to settle down and read a Frieda McFadden book. Probably the most popular ones you would have known are The Housemaid, The Teacher. Her newest, I think, is The Boyfriend, but The Housemaid is definitely one of her most popular. But she's actually a practicing physician specializing in brain injury, but now she's like a #1 New York Times bestseller, US Today, #1 Amazon bestselling author. But I don't know that Frieda McFadden's her real name. I believe that's her pen name. But yeah, she's just a author that is great for this October season. I think it's so cool when there's like a lot of these authors, like another one of my favorites, Allie Hazelwood. She's like a scientist, and now she writes STEM, like science. What's STEM stand for? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Yeah. She was like a STEM or
you're STEM.
Yeah.
I'm not STEM.
That's okay. We can't. If we had all STEM people, I mean, how would the world function, you know?
Probably with like flying saucers and like magnetic trains and blue blood, like avatars at this point.
Avatars. Yeah, wait. I feel like as a kid, I definitely thought we would have like flying cars at this point.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, like Allie Hazelwood, like she had this whole career of being a scientist, and now she just writes like STEM romances, which is so cool. But so yeah, if you're looking for somebody to read during this season, during the spooky season, check out Frieda McFadden. I think that's all we have for you guys today. We're about to go poop our pants on this little tour. Please enjoy the video and like and subscribe and do all the things, because I'm putting myself on the line, guys.
Sparky, looking at Sparky makes my chest hurt.
Oh yeah, guys, we said that, didn't we?
Yeah. I wonder if that's like the OG one. Oh, I think it is. You know what I did learn? Like when I got the tour in 8th grade, they would have 3 guards come when there was oh my gosh, electrocution in the chair, and they would all pull 3 levers at the same time, so 1 for each. That way they didn't know who was electrocuting somebody.
Oh, so it was like for their mental health?
Yeah, I would assume.
That's crazy. And you know what else I saw is the warden, and maybe this is like common knowledge, but like the warden lives.
Yeah, there's like a
and their family.
Yeah, there's
I'm not raising a baby on the prison.
No. There's when they built it was dedicated for him. I'm pretty sure it's like a whole wing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Imagine a riot. Like, oh, my friend, just lock the front door. There's a riot outside.
Yeah. Don't come out. Don't come out. Okay. I think that's all we have for you guys today. Wish us luck.
Thanks for
Zach
watching.
and Cody signing off.
You gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
Here I am in your life.
Here are mine. Yes, we have the sweet life most of the time. You and me, we got the world to see, so come on down.